and 1, 2. Stay there. 2, 1. Try it. Tell your hubby to join you. Let's do it together. 2 each. 2 each. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 4, 3, 2. Back to step touch. Let's go. 4, 3, 2. Hamstrings. 4, 3, 2. Back to step touch. And 4, 3, 2. Hamstrings. Matching. Let's match. Lift your knees high. Hip, 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 hip. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's do a warm-up. Okay. So that was your warm-up today. And we're going to do something else now. The first thing we're going to do, I'm giving you some squats. Okay, here we go now. Put your feet together. Watch my body posture. Let's go now. 20 at a go. If you can't do 20, please do 10. Okay, let's go. Let's go, mommy, daddy. Involve your children. 1, 2, 4, go down. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20. I'm gonna face this direction. Go! More. Okay, 20. Still with squats. Take a break. Relax your legs. Good morning workout, isn't it? Let's go, another 10 now. Watch the space. This is what I do now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try it. 5, 6. Good for your body. 7, 8, 9, 10. So that was 10. That's the second one. In case you had too much of Mishima last night, let's burn all that fat now. Another 10. Ready? Feet together. Open your stance. Go down. Touch the ground. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 20. Trust me, if you're doing it exactly like me, right now, you can feel pressure on your thighs. 20 more. Remember, the first one we did was 40. This one should be 40 as well. After that, take a shower, jump on that vehicle, your bike, your car, and go for work. Let's go. 20 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo! I'm burning fat here. Do it. You thank Camnet later. Last one. Let's go, Team Camnet. Let's show them we can do this. Last 10. After this, you can have your coffee and go for work. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll do 2 for you, 1 for you, 2 for your wife, 3 for your children, for my producer, 1. Great. That was 40. So you did 2 types of squats. Remember, there was the skill squat and the sumo squat. Now, forget about the names. What's important is for you to do the workout. Right now, I can't even talk properly because I'm working out. I'm burning fats, I'm burning calories, and that's what you ought to do. Every morning, try this. If you miss it in the morning, try to do it in the evening. Remember where I started from? Let's match. and back. We are winding down now. Thank you so much for tuning in to our breakfast show. Please make sure you need to exercise always, because you only have one body to carry out your assignment. And I am signing out. I'm Isaac Matsa, and see you.
Welcome back. Well, that was Isaac Matsa there with a morning boost to help us exercise early in the morning. And this is the right time for the segment we call Camnet Health Talk. And in the studios, I've been joined by our usual host, Dr. Cheswa Valika, to help us discuss another important aspect of health, which is breast cancer. Welcome to the program, Doc.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning. And just to get started with our discussion today, what have you prepared for us, especially as what should we focus on today?
All right. So today we're going to talk about breast cancer. Yes. And this week we'll be talking about various cancers. So today we'll focus on breast cancer. So the question is, what is breast cancer? Well, the body is made up of different organs. And these organs are made up of cells. So normally these cells will grow and they will wear out normally. But sometimes something will trigger these cells and they will start growing abnormally. So they may grow in size abnormally, or they will change, their function. And that is what is known as cancer. So today we're talking about these abnormal cells that start from the breast tissue. So we're talking about breast cancer.
Interesting. Who is at risk of getting cancer?
Well, being a woman, because it's breast cancer, being a woman puts you at risk, but especially the older women. Normally, cancer is found in women that are above the age of 50. But we have found recently that even women as young as 30 are getting cancer. It can also be found in men, but it is very, very rare. So mainly breast cancer is found in women who are older, 50 and above. But as I mentioned, even those who are younger are getting it. This is because in women, the breast cells are changing. During when a woman becomes of age, there are changes in the breast. When a woman is breastfeeding, there are changes. And also during our monthly cycle, there are changes in the cells. So sometimes just something may trigger the cells to start growing abnormally and cause cancer.
Well, interesting there. I think just to also, you mentioned the aspect of men can also get breast cancer, but in Zambia is it very common, or but do they face the similar risks as women?
Well, as I mentioned, men can also get it, but it is very rare. Personally, I have not seen a man with cancer, but we know that they can also get it. And in fact, what has been said is that if a man gets it, most of the time the cancer is very virulent, meaning it's serious, because many times it's not diagnosed early because we overlook this. But the fact is, men can also get it, but it is very rare.
But what are the symptoms of breast cancer?
Well, the symptoms of breast cancer are many. But first and foremost, a woman may not know at all because they may not feel anything at all. But the common one is that they'll be able to feel a lump in the breast because it's an abnormal growth. So, and then that lump may be painful, or there may be no pain at all. Or the person may be able to feel the pain when they touch that area. So there may be a lump, or a growth that you'll be able to see and feel in the breast. The other is that there may be skin changes that the woman can notice. And here the skin around the breast may become darker, it may become red, it may be thickened, it may have what we call the orange peel appearance, where there is dimpling on the breast. Those are some of the changes that we can see. But we can also see changes around the nipple. The nipple may be pulled in because of the changes that are going on inside the breast. So the nipple may be pulled in. There may also be an abnormal discharge from the nipple. And I'm saying abnormal because normally a woman who is breastfeeding, milk will come out. But abnormal in that maybe the woman is not breastfeeding, but they notice an abnormal discharge. And that discharge can be any color from whitish to even bloody colored. That is because of the changes that are going on in there. Apart from that, a woman may notice a wound that is not healing. So all these are some of the symptoms that a woman who is having breast cancer may notice.
As we wind up our discussion, I just want to know, how can breast cancer be prevented?
Well, prevention, it is important for a woman to have her breast checked at least once a year by a professional, okay? But we also teach women to self-examine themselves. Even as we do our makeup, as we dress up, let us also remember to look at our breasts and see if there is anything abnormal that you notice. And we also teach women how to, examine themselves so that they're able to pick up any abnormal masses that may be there. And once they do that, it is important for them to go to the nearest health center and get themselves checked. There they will be examined first, and then other tests can be done. A mammography, an ultrasound, or a biopsy can be done, because not all lumps are cancerous. So a biopsy is where the specialist will take a small piece from the lump and examine it, and they'll be able to tell whether it is non-cancerous or cancerous. And based on the extent of the illness, a treatment can be planned. So the advice is for women to go early, to be, when they notice something, to go for screening and to go for treatment early. That is the best option.
Thank you for the information, Doc. Well, interesting. We've been talking to Dr. Varika there on the topic of discussion dubbed breast cancer, and we are talking cancer this week, and you be sure to join us even tomorrow as we continue with this discussion to provide awareness on various issues pertaining to cancer. Just now we're going to take a short break. We'll be back on the other side. Stay tuned.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Do you have an extra car? Then make yourself extra money. We would like to put that car, yes, that car parked there, to good use to make you extra money on the side just through its service while keeping it safe and secure. Call 0765 02 3883 to register your vehicle with us today. Delpo Services. Service beyond satisfaction.
The
Welcome back. Well, in case you're just joining us, you are watching the Camnet Breakfast Wednesday edition, Policy and Governance with me, Patrick Soko, and Sharon Kalimbula. We've been talking to Dr. Vwadika regarding breast cancer, an important discussion there, because breast cancer is something that continues to affect us as a country, especially among girls and women. It is important that we take precaution to ensure that we safeguard our lives. Just now we're going to go into...
Someone has already bought into the idea of sensitization. I'm happy to hear that. You know, your passion for speaking about this thing is amazing. So I don't actually regret having left you to do the interview as a male folk. But...
you don't regret?
No, I don't. Actually, more to it tomorrow if at all we'll be talking about something related, cancer related to women.
Is it a technique to...
No, it's, you know, when we're talking about breast cancer, like Dr. Vwadika had mentioned, it's mostly in women.
Yes.
So it's good that men champion the cause of women probably going for testing and stuff. It will actually mean a lot to us, because we'll somehow get the support that we need.
Exactly.
You know? Like many other things that are affecting women, you know, when you talk about probably gender-based violence, and then you see men championing the cause against gender-based violence, it's gratifying. Because they are the major perpetrators.
You are right.
I'm speaking using statistics, you know that. So when you see a man in the forefront of championing such causes, you get excited and you feel definitely we're heading for change. So really, Patrick, thanks a lot. It is the mark of love indeed, showing us.
Indeed, we are showing some women some love.
Yes,
You understand?
exactly.
What's our next segment?
Indeed, our next segment we look at the money markets and just see how the kwacha is faring against the major convertibles. So the Great British Pound is buying at 24 kwacha 81 way and selling at 25 kwacha 13 way. The United States dollars is buying at 18 kwacha 33 way and selling at 18 kwacha 69 way. What is ZMW? 1 kwacha against ourselves?
They are not that the South African rand.
No, I'm looking at the ZMW. That's us against us.
Us, exactly.
Moving on, the euro is buying at 18 kwacha 89 way and selling at 19 kwacha 26 way, and the South African rand is buying at 1 kwacha 19 way and selling at 1 kwacha 21 way. So those are your money markets.
Yeah, there you have it. Well, we're still within the same ranges, Sharon, but I think there's an increase by 1 against the US dollar, and the kwacha is on a depreciating trajectory, and I think that's something that we need to ensure that we work on as a country, because it may affect us at the end of the day. Just now I'm going to zoom in one of the stories from the Camnet main news, which is talking about the Constitutional Court judges. This is following a complaint that was forwarded to the Judicial Complaints Commission. Let's get to hear that story. Then on the other side, we'll be ready for the first interview on the Camnet Breakfast. Stay tuned.
In 2016, the Constitutional Court dismissed the election petition filed by President Hakainde Hichilema when he was then opposition leader in challenging the re-election of former President Edgar Lungu. Almost 6 years passed after the court dismissed this case. A Lusaka resident, Joseph Osenga, is now requesting the Judicial Complaint Commission to remove 3 Constitutional Court judges from the bench who were part in handling the said petition on ground that they did not handle the 2016 presidential election petition in line with the Constitution. Mr. Osenga cited Justice Palan Mulonda, Anis Itali, and Mungeni Mulenga as the respondent. He alleges that they are incompetent as they grossly misconducted themselves and consequently violated their judicial oath as they handled the petition unconstitutional. He submits that the 3 respondents' action constituted themselves as 3 members panel to interpret Article 1015 of the Constitution within the subject cause without there being any motion, application or pleading before the court or any direction from the judge president that the court will be reconstituted, or indeed any reverse of the ruling of the full bench which set the date and the time for resumption of sitting to Monday 5th September 2016, was a clear, deliberate violation of Article 129 of the Constitution, Section 4.2 of the Act, and the ruling on the part of the 3 judges, which amounted to gross misconduct and contravened the judicial oath they had taken. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Welcome back. There you have it. This is an interesting story actually that was taken back, way back when the election of President Hakainde Hichilema was petitioned. He petitioned the election of Edgar Lungu, rather.
Wow, in 2016?
Yes. So so when this petition was before the courts, there were contentious issues pertaining to the aspect of 14 days, the 14 days period, and this 14 days period created a lacuna whether the matter was needed to be disposed within that time, or the matter needed to be heard. There were a lot of issues that emerged, and eventually there was no substantive progress regarding that same petition, where President Hakainde Hichilema, now president, but then was an opposition leader, when he petitioned Edgar Lungu, who was elected then as the president of the Republic of Zambia. Indeed. So this story now, this contention, Sharon, comes in when, as this lawyer is trying to challenge, as written to the Judicial Complaints Commission, that 3 judges should be withdrawn or removed from the Constitutional Court bench because they exhibited unprofessionalism, and that's the matter that has been taken to court. So basically, these are issues pertaining to
the 2016 elections.
Those elections.
It was a hive of activity in the Constitutional Court after the election, because this issue was something that really almost nobody understood, and we surely hope that this administration looks at that, because they've been victims of this, and obviously they don't want other people to be victims of a law that people cannot even interpret properly. I wonder who were coming up with such a law, you know, that they can't understand it themselves, you know. It created a lot of hullabaloo around. I think that's where the word lacuna really became a household word, such that each and everybody can use it. I can simply call you a lacuna, Patrick, for not wishing me well today. But anyways, we'll be talking to our next guest, and he is not a lacuna, just for clarity's sake. It's coming from a youth movement, and we will be talking about youth-related issues and empowerment programs. Just take a breather as we allow him to come on set.
Hello, I'm Deborah Lukalu, all the way from South Africa. You are watching Camnet channel, not just another channel. God bless you. Stay tuned. We testify. We celebrate. For all you've done, Lord, we give you all the praise. Oh, we testify. We celebrate. Lord, we give you all the praise.
Do you have an extra car? Then make yourself extra money. We would like to put that car, yes, that car parked there, to good use to make you extra money on the side just through its service while keeping it safe and secure. Call 0765 02 3883 to register your vehicle with us today. Delpo Services. Service beyond satisfaction.
They were not there when God created you. The Bible
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Camnet Breakfast here. My name is Sharon Kalimbola, and on the other side, I have Patrick Soko. Just now on set, we've been joined by a youthful leader coming from the World Youth Leadership Foundation, and he is executive director. Is it director general?
Yes.
Why aren't you calling yourselves executive directors?
All right.
But anyways, he is Nalishebo Nyambe. Nalishebo, welcome to this interview.
Thank you so much.
I always ask, is this your first time being here?
It's my second time.
Your second time?
Exactly.
Okay, then you don't deserve what I wanted to give you.
No.
Because you've been here.
It's a new
And it's a month of love. We will definitely show you some love.
Okay,
Yes,
definitely.
before you go.
Okay, interesting. Well, Mr. Nyambe is going to help us discuss one pertinent issue, Sharon, on the CDF, especially that the allocation has been increased to 25.7 million kwacha. Now, we have seen now the CDF has started being dispersed with that component on grant to help those who are going on bursary, being assisted so that they can start going to school, to college. That allocation has started being dispersed. Yes.
20%.
Yeah. Now we are under the same CDF. We have the component of empowerment. Now, Mr. Nyambe, looking at the aspect of empowerment, what should be our focus as a country to ensure that this empowerment process is not compromised like we have seen in the past?
Okay. Thank you so much. First and foremost, the main reason why we've seen in the past the empowerment component being compromised, especially when you mention and talk about the youths, because of sometimes it's because of political manipulation, where you find that the huge number of young people that are part of the political parties in charge of the empowerment in the constituencies are the ones that are favored, and such issues brings about lack of proper allocation. And also it denies those that the youths that do not belong to political parties the fact that they will not have much attention from the political leaders themselves. And secondly, if we look at the separation of powers also contributes largely the fact that when the funds such as the CDF is given to the constituencies, the separation of power is less, and you find that the legislature, executive, and the judiciary is no longer full-time monitoring those funds. So that gives also a potential for political manipulations and also favorism in terms of favoring those that are involved in politics alone and leaving the youths that are not participants of, or that are not politicians, rather, that do not belong to political parties in that constituency. So we have first to ensure that we look at how we can reduce such kind of issues if we are to successfully empower the young people in the country. And if we look at the number of unemployment levels, it's continuing to increase, and each and every year we are seeing a lot of young people graduating, going back to the communities, and yet they don't have anything to do. So this calls for more effort from the stakeholders, the constituent development fund committees, and also the church, as well as the community leaders across the constituencies, to ensure that they put across a very good model to ensure that the disbursement of the funds are not compromised, and they ensure that they held accountable those that may want to manipulate funds. It is actually the funds that is meant for the people in the communities, because it is taken to the people themselves, the electorate themselves, to ensure that they also benefit from the country, the national cake. So there is a need of the community to ensure that they put in measures that will assist everyone to benefit from such kind of empowerment or funding, because it is meant for the people. Secondly, we also look at young people themselves. Are they interested? Do they have knowledge on how they can use these funding? Sometimes we talk about political manipulation because maybe I might be running an organization, I might be running a cooperative, but am I doing anything that will attract people that want to fund those projects? Sometimes people form cooperatives and then they just form cooperative, then they leave it in the hands of the funders to fund it, of which the funders themselves, or even the government, for them to fund, they need to at least see the interest of people working together as a cooperative. If you can take maybe a research, or you go back and ask for the Ministry of Youth to provide the information on a number of youth groups that were empowered from the year, maybe we start from 2011 to date, and find out how many youth groups have paid. Some of them, they no longer exist because of what? One, they are not consistent. They just formed cooperatives because they wanted to access empowerment. Secondly, there is no much capacity building given to the young people so that they have proper knowledge on how they can utilize the resources that they are given. So this has brought a lot of issues that has also, put our government in a situation where we are seeing, the Constituency Development Fund not operating. Some of the constituencies were not being given the funding, I'm sure, for the past, should be 3 years. Yes, and we had some complaint from is it Mumba Central constituency, where he was one of the MPs that didn't receive the Constituency Development Fund. So, okay, so such kind of issues need to be ensured that they are looked into, and they need to ensure that also the church need to take in interest, because the youths belong to the churches. And also the constituents need to also ensure that they also engage the church to ensure that there is at least a separation between the politics and the people. Because when you talk about the fund which is going to the people, we're not looking at who belongs to which political party, who has more power, because everyone is equal and everyone deserves that.
To you, our viewers, you are watching Camnet Breakfast, the 9th of February 2022. And in studio, we are talking to World Youth Leadership Foundation Director General, Mr. Nalishevo, quite elaborate, speaking to issues relating to the Constituency Development Fund and the empowerment component that comes with those funds. If you are not aware, government has started the spacing those funds, especially those that are going towards the bursary schemes in the secondary, university and various constituencies. And we covered a story, Mr. Nalishevo, in case you are not aware, we covered a story where one of the pupils has already benefited from this empowerment going to secondary school at Kamwala school. But then my focus, really, my concern is political interference in these empowerment programs. Not so long ago, we saw quite a lot of empowerment programs being politically inclined. But then when we bring it down to the constituency, these constituencies have what we call ward development committees or constituency development committees, which are probably headed by political parties. How then do we ensure that people benefit in as much as they are being led by politicians?
Okay, so this is why we have to look at, first and foremost, the church. A church accommodates a lot of people from different political parties, but when they come into the house of the Lord, they are all the same, despite political differences and so on. So there is a need of the church also intervening, and the Constituency Development Fund Committee has to ensure that they also include the church leaders on its board, so that they can be at least a fair even planning and disbursement of funds, because once we avoid or we run away from the church, then we are allowing now politicians to now take over and put in their full interest, of which may see a lot of people being sidelined because they belong to Part B, I belong to Part A, because this constituency is now being governed by Part B. So those that belong to Part C cannot fully benefit from the fund, the fact that they don't have more power. We've seen a lot of violence being taking place in the country, especially in a few years and also during the election period. So people, like for this year, people still have that in their heart because someone injured their relative, someone was fighting, someone was fighting hard for the political B, and someone was fighting for the political C. Then they see your face there applying for funding or wanting to access the funding. First and foremost, they will look at your image.
Yes.
What are the records that you've had in the past?
Political affiliation?
Yes. Which political party are you affiliated to? Which political party did you fight for during the election period? So this year we are looking at those issues, and there's a need of the church really being involved to ensure that there is equal disbursement, and also to ensure that there is justice, and put aside the political affiliations and so on.
Call us in studio or send us those messages via our platforms, and we will be able to read those messages. Say what you want to say, speak your mind, and this is your platform. Patrick?
Exactly. And now going into another important aspect of this empowerment initiatives that are being put in place by the government. Mr. Nyambe, we are being treated to the story of farm cooperatives on a daily basis, especially by among government officials. And the Minister of SMEs, as of yesterday, was also in Southern Province talking about the same, form cooperatives, telling people, civil servants, to form cooperatives. But if people continue to form cooperatives without a basis or self-reliance, like you had earlier indicated, are we going to really make progress out of these cooperatives, or these cooperatives will just be waiting for handouts like we have seen in the past?
Okay, a good question indeed. That takes us to one important aspect. If you tell someone to form a cooperative today, one, if they haven't formed any, that shows that they don't have interest. And secondly, they don't have, maybe they don't have knowledge on how to run a cooperative. In 2019, I was one of the people that had formed a cooperative, because we were instructed to form a cooperative as one of the ways on how we can access the funding from the government.
Did you manage?
So we did form a cooperative, but then among ourselves, because we were with different minds, despite us coming together as a cooperative and registering a cooperative, we also looked at other people not having the much needed knowledge on how a cooperative is being run. So this is where a lot of cooperatives fail, because one, they come together, yes, the cooperative is registered in the name of just accessing funds. And you find that once they are empowered, they start sharing the money among themselves. And how are we going to achieve a successful goal? By forming cooperatives. So first and foremost, we have to look at which groups have been consistent, and which groups have been trying by all means to do or to work even despite them not being funded. Such groups, we can even tell to say this group, even if we fund it, it will be able to benefit and it will assist the vision and mission of the fund, because that is a revolving fund. And therefore, forming cooperatives anyhow or every time forming cooperatives is one of the things, and also ensuring that there is proper skills development given to the people before they form cooperatives, or ensure that each and every cooperative undergoes a training that will assist them with the much needed knowledge to learn on how they can run projects, and also on just the cooperative development and management itself. That will also assist our country. But if we just pronounce and say form cooperatives, a lot of cooperatives have been formed. I'm sure if we had a chance to go and check at the National Youth Development Council, we'll see that a lot of cooperatives were formed from the start till to date, and people are still forming cooperatives. But have we seen a successful formation of cooperatives achieving a goal?
Very few.
Very few, of course. So that is not a solution to unemployment, but the most solution that has to be there is to ensure that there must be a mindset change among ourselves as young people. How do we see ourselves, and how do we plan ourselves? Do we have a vision to develop the nation? Do we have a passion to contribute to the development in our communities? That will also answer to some questions that surrounds the lack of success in terms of cooperative formation groups.
Your passion for this is amazing.
Exactly.
And one thing, Patrick, for sure, that I do agree with him is that people form cooperatives to access funds, but they don't really understand the agenda of that cooperative, because it needs to push a certain agenda. For example, if you form a cooperative and say, we're going to do fish farming, and then maybe me, I want to sell salawater. I'll just join the cooperative to meet the numbers,
just to meet the numbers,
to meet the numbers. But then when the funds are released, or we get lucky, we get the funding.
Your interest will be
my
just to get your
to get my
cut
share and do the salawater that I really want. But in the actual sense, the idea of the cooperative was to do fish farming, so that as and when it grows, you share, you divide the money and whatever, you return what you're supposed to return to where you got the funds from. But then that is not the case, and that really, really needs to change, because honestly, there are so many cooperatives, Patrick. The records are overwhelming.
Now, yeah, because now that has been a song. That has been a song.
Even before now.
Yes, exactly. Even I remember even if we were even that other guest we had, Mr. Mambwe, where he was talking about themselves having facilitated the formation of a number of cooperatives.
Exactly.
That's besides cooperatives that have been formed independently, and those that have been influenced by the through the CEC,
or whatever.
Those that have been influenced under the Youth Empowerment Fund, just like that. So at the end of the day, if you don't have a vision, you cannot achieve anything, because at the end of the day, you have to sustain yourself as a cooperative. You have to say, if the government does not fund us, Sharon, let us contribute this much so that we can do our fish farming. You don't have to say, if government does not fund us, at the end of the day,
it's just a quiet cooperative.
Exactly.
Because, you know, the idea also, Mr. Nyambe, I stand to be corrected, is that when it's a cooperative, like, you can sacrifice and put your money together and start up something. I think that's what you meant.
Yeah, exactly.
Such that when funders come, they already find you're already active. But a lot of cooperatives, they just register, put their certificates. For some of our friends, they even post on social media.
Exactly.
That they have successfully managed to form a cooperative, and I am now the chairman for this cooperative, without actually following the due process of how to make it successful. However, Mr. Nyambe, we are talking about empowerment programs, and one of the ways that government has always been insisting, like Patrick had mentioned, is forming cooperatives. What other ways? Because not everyone is cut for such.
Yes, what can we do at constituency level, especially that this money will be in every constituency? What can we do else to ensure that there is that empowerment? Is
government living up to its promise of creating employment? Is this the cooperative thing, the employment agenda? You know?
Okay. Well, first and foremost, if you look at what they explain about the cooperative formation, first and foremost, it's a group of people that comes together, and that group of people is empowered and given the funds so that it can assist itself to run away from unemployment, perhaps even create employment if it succeeds. So that also is one of the points that I'm sure the government has been standing on, to ensure that it uses a group of people to cater for a certain community and ensure that the community is assisted by this number of people to create jobs for other people. But then you find that, like I said, a lot of cooperatives have been formed. A lot of them have been formed, but they're not doing anything. And a lot of them have been empowered even without the knowledge of running a cooperative, without even showing a consistent, without even showing that passion to run a cooperative because of what the political affiliations. They are affiliated to a certain political party, and then they will be able to be funded. Then after they are funded, they run away, they share their money, and we don't see these people being held accountable because of what maybe they are affiliated to some political parties that may assist them. But first and foremost, we have to look at the community first, where we are. Our main suggestion would be before the budget ends, each year before the budget ends, we have to ensure that we take maybe just a census. Yes, to ensure that before we come back to an audit, we look at the population of the people. Of course, each and every constituency is given equal amount. Yeah, and that also disadvantage some of the big constituencies, and especially those that are in rural areas, because in rural areas there is much more needed to be done than in urban areas. So that also need to be considered to ensure that we look at the number of people, the population in each constituency, and then we look at how much should be allocated toward this and this, and then we look at the interest of the people. What are you interested? For example, if you've done medicine, you are a doctor, then you are given to because there is no employment.
Fish farming.
Then you're being taken to fish farming. You will not have that passion because that is not what you've been trained for, and there is need of now looking at the interest of the people. How do we then fit in to ensure that we bring out the best of the people in the communities? So we have to ensure that we look at the interest of the people, what they have done, what they have studied, so that their skills can be put to work, and ensure that they work with their full potential and passion. That will assist young people now to start being motivated. We have seen a lot of young people graduating, a lot of people with degrees, diplomas. They don't have employment. They're just seated. Some of them, they even gone back to drinking because there is no other option that they can take apart from that. They have nothing to keep them busy. So first and foremost, we have to look at the interest of the people. What should be put, and that can come across, maybe can be brought in if we ensure that each constituency has at least a dialogue with the youths. That if empowerment is specifically meant for the youths, it has first a dialogue with the youths and get to find out deep into their minds what they can do first and foremost before they pronounce that kind of empowerment. Secondly, we have to look at young people that that have passion in our communities, who is involved, who is doing something in the community, and they need empowerment. Some of the people, you can tell, businesses being run, but they don't have capital to boost their business. Some of them, they have passion, but because they have no access to funding, you find that they will still struggle. They will not go anywhere very far because of the same issue. So we have to ensure that first and foremost, we segment our people in the communities, put them into groups by understanding their interest, and then we look at what can attract them and what should be put in place to ensure that their passion is put to use, and that will assist us to now see a lot of young people at least putting more effort to ensure that the funds is used according to what it's supposed to be done, and it develops what the community, and also they themselves as the beneficiaries of the fund, they benefit from it by creating employment for themselves. Secondly, we also have to ensure that we look at facilities that can be put in the constituencies. Do we have enough facilities in the constituencies to ensure that...
What are those facilities?
Oh, okay. For example, if you talk about facilities, I'll mention a few. We can talk about schools to ensure that young people are trained and the young people are sensitized, educated on issues surrounding empowerment. If we say empowerment, most of the young people in the communities, they think it's money only. And that also caters for skills development. How many schools do we have in the community to ensure that young people, before they are empowered, are trained, are given first and foremost the skill development, which is an empowerment as well. So what we have done as an organization, we are running a program called Leadership and Entrepreneurship Empowerment Program, which consists of trainings. And right now we have started training a number of youths from different constituencies and different districts to ensure that even before they access the fund, they should be equipped with the much needed knowledge to ensure that they should not let the government down, but they should assist the government to develop, because it is not only the duty of the government to develop the nation, but it's the duty of each and every responsible citizen to ensure that they put everything together and support the development in the communities for our benefit as youths, because tomorrow we are the ones that will be the leaders, and if we don't take it now, then how are we going to run the country in the few years to come?
I'm actually a leader of today. Patrick, your concluding remarks.
Well, Mr. Nyambu, we'd like to thank you for finding time to help us discuss this issue. We hope that you'll be available next time when we call you.
Thank you so much. Well,
just now we are going to take a zoom in one story as we come on the other side with another interview. And this story is pertaining to mental health that was in the news last night.
Let's look at this.
An assessment that was conducted by the Ministry of Health revealed that COVID-19 has affected the response to other diseases. Undoubtedly, mental health is among diseases badly affected. People like this youth
who was allegedly shot by the police during the gassing protest episode in the year 2020, never received counseling assistance to overcome the trauma he went through, and his mother is worried.
As for now, he is emotionally disturbed. Then he can do anything because his condition, he might look okay when you look at him, but the way he behaves, you can tell that he's not okay. He's not emotionally okay.
He is among the many citizens that need counseling services to safeguard their psychosocial well-being to help them stay away from getting into a crisis like others who have been let down by their families and society. University Teaching Hospital psychiatrist registrar Dr. Naim Dalo says due to worry and stress over the coronavirus and loss of income among other issues, some people resort to bad coping mechanisms such as substance abuse, thus worsening the mental health problem in Zambia, a trend he says must be reversed.
Now with coronavirus, as we have witnessed, there have been a lot of changes in our daily living. Things are more expensive, the socioeconomic condition is different. Preventive measures have also been put in place, such as schools have closed down. So we have to look at all the different people that are affected by COVID-19. Everyone is affected by COVID-19, psychologically, emotionally, as well as socially.
Some people, in a quest to uphold their status as social media celebrities, Zambia has been treated to unusual behaviors that may require a mental health therapy. And what is worrying is that others are being exploited, both on social and mainstream media. Mental Health Users Network of Zambia coordinator Sylvester Katontoka reminds families to embrace relatives suffering from mental illness.
Our own sister, our own brother, our own mother, our own father, why should mental illness separate them from the family? No. I think for me, this is the worst criminality, cruelty that Zambia is giving to its own people.
Disability Rights Watch National Coordinator Bruce Choma is disappointed over the failure to effectively implement the Mental Health Act of 2019.
The Mental Health Act has been very explicit in saying that mental health and physical health services shall have equal status. That means that whatever attention the state is giving to other health conditions that are physical in nature, whether it is HIV/AIDS, whether it is mothers and children, antenatal, and other services, they must ensure that also mental health services access an equal amount of support.
Everyone is a potential mental health victim. Hence, combating the disease remains a collective responsibility. Patrick Soko, Camnet TV News in Lusaka. Welcome back. Well, you are watching the Camnet Breakfast Wednesday edition, Policy and Governance, and I'm Patrick Soko with Sharon Kalimbula. We've been discussing pertinent issues pertaining to the youth empowerment, and now is the right time for another important interview of the day, where we are engaging the United Party for National Development National Vice Youth Chairman, Mr. Trevor Mwinde, to help us discuss various issues pertaining to the UPND, especially in as far as youth, young people are concerned, especially in the political fraternity involving the ruling party. We have seen a number of issues pertaining to lawlessness that can be, though we have also seen a number of arrests by the police. Now, Mr. Mwinde, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
We are happy that you could make it for the interview.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
You look like Bobby Wine.
No, they say ladies face. That's why I'm gonna.
Hey.
Then I go this side.
I don't really understand why he ignored me in the first place.
I wonder whether I ignored anybody here. We are just here to chat.
But anyways, Mr. Mwinde, welcome to this interview.
Thank you so much.
You are a youth leader in the United Party for National Development and quite outspoken, and you've been to almost the whole country from the time that you won the election. Obviously, you've seen quite a number of issues happening in the country. Lawlessness among us the top of the agenda.
Lawlessness?
Yes.
We have seen some people taking matters in their own hands and saying...
In the name of the UPND, so you are here.
Do you endorse that?
No, I don't know what you call endorsement, because lawlessness also, you need to be specific. Lawlessness where? Because we are informing the country, and the country needs quite correct details of the narrative and the conversation we're having here.
That's why you're here.
So let's bring two issues to your attention, Mr. Mwinde. We were treated to an incident where these young people, these youths, claiming to be UPND members, wanted to access a mine. And they were telling the police officers that were in charge that they were guarding actually foreigners who are actually exploiting Zambians. Much as they may have had an issue, but was it right for them to be victimizing police officers and threatening police officers with dismissal? Does your party endorse such kind of behavior?
Well, you see, a conversation, it needs to be followed from the beginning to the end. As it stands right now, the people that were on site there, if you are talking about the incident where Comrade Stephen Chikota was on site in Chembe district, I do believe that the community requested him that he should go and represent them. It's unfortunate that it is the only incident that which you have heard of. There are other incidents in Karurushi.
No, there are many.
Similar incidents, not only of a political party, but mine ownership langos. And there is another incident in Lavushmanda. Okay, so when we are talking about that's Lavushmanda is in Michinga province. Yes. So when we are talking about ownership rangos and the empowerment of the youths and women, it takes one to understand that our manifesto, we did indicate, or it is one of the conditions on the list of items that we have provided when it comes to mining. We have said we will offer partnerships in terms of handling artisan mining licenses to the youths and women to make sure that the youths are able to also participate not only as employees but employers. So we are working on a critical mindset change. The impatient will always be seen to run for nothing, but the patient will always be seen to gain, and the gain is not for a short term, and the gain is not political. The gain is not on the basis that one has gotten a piece of land that which they can transact and they get money for themselves. We are looking for a gain that which will change our society, our communities, and also contribute to the revenue basket of the country.
Mr. Mwinde, we want to understand, your political party at some point, your top leadership as the youth executive, was on record suggesting that you start beating up people who are criticizing President Hakainde Hichilema as an individual. Could it be that among the reasons that we are seeing some people trying to take matters personal?
Or did we misunderstand you?
No, I don't think that there was any misrepresentation of facts. A fact is a fact. It can be said in the morning, lunch hour, or evening. We are full-grown men, and if we realize and see that a man is insulting our father in the name of His Excellency, the President of the Republic, he is not only the father for UPND youths, he's a father for many other people that are looking for leadership, serious leadership, that which is result-oriented. His Excellency, the President, has ended cadreism because he does not want to be personalized. We were looking for a president who will be able to unite Zambia. His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema has united Zambia. A few disgruntled politicians, a few politicians who use their bellies to think, have thought that they can bring confusion. They can go and make running comments, even at the police station, to prove a point that they still have a few of their remnants in the system. They are commenting at police stations, castigating, accusing, disparaging, warning off the popularity and the fame that which we have worked so many years to build. We had a product to sell when we were in opposition, and that product was the UPND and His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, and the candidates that stood and won, even those that did not do well. And then we will not be able to sit and fold our arms like this and watch people insult in the morning, insult at lunch hour, insult, especially those that do not realize that His Excellency now, he is a government tool. He is no longer a political tool of the UPND red, but he is a president for all. There's a difference.
Yes.
There's a difference, madam, and the viewers out there. The difference is that the UPND, when we were duped of the 2016 general election, we went into a public mode by declaring that we are not going to recognize ECL. Publicly, we could speak of it in a very small way, say, no, manatibera mavoti, manatibera uja muntu nikawalala. But then now the difference is that the PF are in the silent mode. Okay, they're in the silent mode, resisting the leadership of the UPND, resisting in broad daylight, antagonizing. And you can also see, when they try to open their mouth, they are always appealing to the international community. International community, Zambians, you must know that these people like Nakachinda who say, no, international community, watch this, international community, hear this, they are calling or inviting for sanctions. Yes, they are calling and inviting for trouble on Zambia. What kind of a citizen? They call themselves patriotic citizens. If you have got a problem with His Excellency the President, who you call your brother, we have always been willing. UPND is running an open door policy where we have ended violence. He was bringing his summons to our secretariat before. What is wrong for him? He's my elder brother. He's my brother. He's a seasoned politician, Nakachinda, and his cohorts.
And Mr. Mwinde, are you going, we just want to get it clear from you, are you going to beat them up or are you going to ensure that the police do their work by taking action against those who want to take matters personal?
Well, the Zambia police has got a duty to protect human life and property. So because I'm not a trained beater, and I'm not a trained boxer, neither a karateka, who will be going on rampage to try and... Politics, we use the mouth and the brains, and we whip them harder by what we say. If normal language does not make them understand, then we shall refer them to those that are trained to beat.
So basically what you meant when you said we will deal with them, it's not necessarily to physically beat these people, because that's what the message, that's the message that was going around. And Patrick had mentioned, I must say, Mr. Mwinde, that you've evaded the question, because Patrick's question is that, could this statement that was issued by your chairperson, the chairman, Mr. Liswaniso, be the one that is instigating these people to act negatively in the name of the party? It can be a yes or no, Mr. Mwinde.
Oh, I do believe that in the context and the environment under which and circumstances that which he said what he said, he is a sober, mature human being who also owns an independent mindset. I've given you an expression of what I believe it meant.
Okay.
Well, thank you for being
a fact can be, a fact is a fact, morning, afternoon, and evening.
It does not change. So we'll stick to that.
So we'll stick to that. You are saying it's a fact. I'm not using opinion. We'll stick to that.
Yes, we're going to borrow his term, which he used when he started.
Fact is a fact. Morning,
fact is a fact.
Afternoon, and evening.
Doesn't matter the time.
So you, the viewers out there, can call in and send us those messages. In conversation, we are talking to Mr. Trevor Mwinde, who is the Vice National Chairperson for the Youths in the United Party for National Development. We've seen quite a number of issues that have been attributed to the UPND youths across the country, and he is here to just probably counter-react and set the record straight with regards to what exactly is happening. So you there as well might have been a victim. Call us and give us those contributions of yours.
We take that.
I think we have one caller already. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning. Okay, so we lost that caller. You can call us as well. Keep trying and get through to us and talk to Mr. Mwinde. This is a rare guest.
Yeah, and Mr. Mwinde, we want to talk about, when we talk about the fight against corruption, we understand the United Party for National Development Administration the fight against corruption is among issues you have prioritized. While you are doing that, the PF are saying that you are victimizing them. Are you victimizing the PF? Are you targeting the PF strategically?
That's a very nice question, Mr. Soko. I must be quick to mention that they are victims by choice. They are victims by choice because they chose a certain pattern of selective behavior, and they selected themselves into a team. They bundled themselves as a team of thieves who wanted to thrive by raping the economy of this country and by only recognizing and thinking that their children needed better services, it be health, it be education, as politicians. So we as UPND will target those that were given the mandate to run the affairs of the country.
Just what you thought you picked the score. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Yes, we can hear you. Kindly speak up.
Good morning.
Good morning, thank you. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Patrick, calling it from Matero.
Please go ahead, Patrick.
Good morning, Mr. Monday.
Good morning, thank you, sir. How are you?
Yes, my contribution is, as the youth of the ruling party, I don't see any need of panicking. The people in charge. If those people are trying to disrespect our head of state, let them not take it court. Besides, you're in the better position to even push for a trial or anything, not you reacting in public. And then the other thing I wanted to contribute, so what I've noticed in most political parties is that they don't hold conferences or meetings where they educate their members on what they stand on. Because you find that the executive will be planning nice things for them. Like in our case, the head of state has been making a lot of progressive announcements. But it's not trickled down to the grassroots to make them understand what the president is trying to implement. Hence you find that the people in front are going in a different direction. On the grassroots, they're also going in a different direction. Find time, make committees in wide constituencies, districts, that kind of thing. Talk to them, explain. They are more on the ground than not it. You really talk to the grassroots to educate them on how things are moving. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Patrick. Mr. Window, would you like to speak to that?
Yes, he has spoken something which is very touching. The head of state has made the progressive pronouncements, and then people are not connecting that information. It remains hanging. It remains in the airwaves without having to sit down. Kataso konvani ulimi bazachita mwakuti. Yes, chaka chiro ubwera bazakuchitirani so bazakuleterani ichi boma iruganiza maganizo yaso. Udizachoka kuri soya bazali tako sunflower. But we as a political party, we have made progress on that subject. I want to thank Mr. Patrick. First of all, we have made progress. The progress that which has been made is that we have decided that all the information and publicity, at least once every week, to all community radio stations across the country, there will be people that will explain the free education policy, the access to better health services, and the social cash transfer, the agriculture policies of the UPND. So we are working towards that. I have to confess that it has been slow, because every time that which we have appeared on the media, it has been that we are coming to defend a certain wrong, okay? And we should not be in the reactive mode. We should be in the proactive mode. In our society, we don't do preventive politics. We need to do preventive politics to cure the wrongs. To cure these wrongs, we need to educate the public. When the public is educated, we shall find that there will be very reduced instances or incidences where people will go against what the presidential pronouncement is.
Okay, we have another caller. Let's speak that. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Okay, went quiet on us.
I can hardly get that one.
Please keep trying and get through to us and talk to Mr. Mwinde here in studio.
And we have broken down the communication. We are saying if somebody is speaking in Luapula, he will be able to speak zero down to the language that the people are understanding there. Somebody speaking in Eastern Province, he will zero down the language the people are understanding there. Somebody speaking in Northwestern, depending on where, because Northwestern is quite vast, he can speak in Ruvale, Lunda, Kaonde, so that we can connect with the grassroots in a better way. Somebody speaking in the Central should connect to the people in a better way so that the presidential pronouncements and the government's policies are properly explained to the people in line with our promises that which we made when we were doing the campaigns.
The UPND Youth Wing, Mr. Mwinde, is responsible to also enforce that pronouncement by the head of state that there should be no cadarism in markets and other public facilities. I want to find out how, on that score, how are you working around that? Because we have seen time and again some incidents coming out of there. Our reporter one day was covering events with the Inspector General of Police, Lemi Kajoba. People testified that there is no cadarism while the IG was passing through the markets. Immediately, the IG went. Someone called our reporter in confidence and said, in fact, there is a UPND wing that comes to get money on a daily basis, 300 kwacha, they say it goes to the secretariat. Do those activities still happen, Mr. Mwinde?
Much progress.
I want to put it on record that our party as United Party for National Development, the Secretary General, Senior Comrade Batuke Imenda, he is not, and he has never, and he will never be in receipt of any money that which comes from illicit sources or illegal sources like bus stations. If there is any money that which comes from bus stations, we advocated for ending we campaigned and championed a cause to end cadarism in markets and bus stations, whilst we were still in opposition, because we realized that the plight of the council workers and the plight of other council employees in different municipalities, they were not getting the money. The money was being diverted into political hands. So as a matter of fact, we want to say that we are not in receipt of any money. As a Deputy National Youth Chairperson, a member of the National Management Committee, I'm well aware the levels of mudslinging. A person who called you would have as well raised those issues when the IG was in the bus station.
Exactly.
So those are people that are just malicious.
Okay.
Hello, you are through to Camnet TV. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. May we have your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm calling from Lusaka. Actually, I live in Mungwa.
You are?
Mwakabwani Mwosi Bakanya.
Taukabu
Inokaya Imwe.
Yeah, I think the topic I'm interested in on this topic.
Mungachuze ko zina yanu? Mungachuze ko zina yanu? Okay. Okay.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes. I'm so grateful for seeing. Yes, I'm so grateful from there. I can use the time. We are social transfer. If I think it was the same, because bantu bakomplena naningi background kuti ndana zamena ngayala kutazama kwa polisi, then bali according to the government policy. So naningi now being part of the member and interested in very what is taking place in the state. So bakitema naningi bakapekwa zero bakitema bena bakapena ni kapuna maafisa zamena enda mumiji wakudala. Especially good more officers who have to investigate what is taking place. Because when you say that in drama, you know, but in 150, in a flattening that and behind the maintenance, yeah. So I complain, I don't like that's what I end up complaining. So I cannot know officers and just encouraging them that became a foot what I'm very, I'm going to take a moment in charge because that's what I end up at the report. So all the energy about the academy, the Bola DC or the Bola Cancer and the name of my officers and can say complain. But as a community, when community can be the United feels kind of Katan, that's a penny and my example of Milan. So second.
Yes.
Yes, you can go ahead.
Okay, I think we lost her.
On the second point.
We get the second quarter if there is any.
So, in fact, I think they have raised something that Mr. Mwende was talking about in terms of creating awareness on those government programs. And that's why she called, pointing out to the fact of the issue of Sharon, the social cash transfer. We had that story in the news yesterday where equally the media director spokesperson Tawakawa now expressed concern that some people, persons with who are visually impaired, were being given inadequate money.
Swindled,
to be specific.
By these officers that are supposed to give them.
That was in Western Province. We also saw another, in the same vein, there was an issue where the headmaster was telling pupils to bring reams of paper. And some families are too poor to afford that, especially now that there's a free education policy, and that undermines government's policy. So now, Mr. Mwende, what do you make of such calls, especially that while you are trying to do something else,
other people, your officers
on the ground are doing the opposite and diluting your policies as the party in power?
Okay, you see, commenting on behalf of government, we are a conveyor belt. I will be able to maturely say that we should be able to squarely, concisely and precisely square it up with the minister responsible for that facility or the ministers responsible. I do believe that there has been quite poor communication, and of which I do believe that I don't want to preempt a lot of things on the media, but I do believe that there will be a radical attitude change, because certain people, you know, they were being accused to say that they were corrupt in terms of ministers are corrupt by certain sections of youths, like the incident which was in Ruapula. But to bring down that conversation, this corruption is a cancer that which we need to fight. Of course, we have people that have overstayed in their roles in certain sectors. And these people that have overstayed in their sectors, they have designed a system of how they can survive. They don't have a drive that which can satisfy them when they deliver the services to the intended people. So we are asking, therefore, to the authorities and the powers that be, we have taken note, tambera bamene bakamba bamayi bakumumbwaba, iyo nkani yanu izafunika kuti especially chauti idilinga na bantu bakote, bantu bakulu, sitingafune kuti kunkali kuziri kulira kuinango kuchira bamene bakamba. Tizaikonka mwachidule kuti tipezepo njira yosiriza mavuto yo para monga yayo. So vinango bamene ngakambe kamba kuti Mazambians tisankale chabendwi bantu batijira masuku pamitu. Boma inasinta. Mwamene inasintira president wamene alipo manje His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema. Si president wa UTIA inaini komanidiemo. Akambira kandu inaini komanidiemo. The information ifunika izienda mwachidule endesani kutamangana kuba media houses perekani kuli makansela banu pereka pamene mwapeza bakansela kulibe uzani bantu bamene banga kuuze nuto bamene banga tiperekere nkani bachipani libati tiyenditandizane kunkala muli mu government siuti kapena votes zakwanisa kuvichita ise parweka without information amene icho kapansi. So turupepeza kuti mwe bantu bweresani mawu normene viri kuvutani mumwoyo wanu mwamusanga titikambire pamozi ava vantu mongava their issues are already as good as solved. What needs to happen is that we also need to have an audit in terms of these people that have been doing the social cash transfer. Yes, and I think the aspect of having to put somebody, because he comes from there, you come from Eastern Province, and then mukasebenzere muchipata under social cash transfer.
Exactly.
Yes, yes. So swap these people, have a system that which you are rotating them. Let them not feel permanent. Especially these that are doing. We want to compare the response from the people. Give them maybe 6 months. I know it's expensive. But
yeah, you look at the cost of keeping a certain project and the cost of swapping them. You find that keeping people for a long time is costly than swapping them. So
they get used. Yes, I mean, when I remember you about that, you realize that orokoswa kajaira maningi munyumba zamba utininga na parimoti. So so the best that which we need to do in order to find a solution is that we will need to. They even have very formidable transport. Cruiser, okay. They have formidable transport, so those vehicles that which they use, if you have got dedicated people that can canvass the country, I can give you from a political experience. I can go from Uchavuma up to Kawambwa in 3 days' time. Okay, what is interacting with people? So these people, I think in Chito, Zavachepera, Bantu Bapakisa, okay, these people that are handling the social cash transfer, they are too much at ease. A work without pressure creates opportunity for people to start stealing. Don't give them time. Give them enough work because we have maybe a lot of people that are employed in their specific traditional areas where they have their cousins, their nieces, even when you don't qualify. And that results into reducing the package, yes, suppressing the, compressing the package that which was intended to benefit people in a right manner.
Interesting. There you have it. Mr. Mwinde was trying to explain what one of our callers brought out to their attention. One other thing under the social cash transfer to note is that they are running side by side with the previous social cash transfer allocation that was released for the month of December. That is the bearing the amount that was under the previous allocation. Under the 2022 national budget, the allocation has been reduced and it has been increased. So the 2022 allocation is not yet disbursed, but when it is disbursed, the amount will be higher than the one that was in previously given out.
To pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Ngambi. I'm calling from Peter.
Please go ahead, Mr. Ngambi.
Yeah, it's very interesting to listen from Camnet this morning on this topic you have. Many people now, including myself, were very impressed with this new Dawn government. They're doing fine. Yeah, but what we don't like now is the CADRES which is trying to re-attack the head again. And you know, I just see these people wearing uniforms like soldiers, and then they go to the gym to train, to be muscular, in order to listen people in town and say, that president is being taken again, it's not very good for us. The president is very clear, he's against terrorism, and I think those uniforms they wear, they should stop. Let them just be normal people. Let's be humble themselves. Humble CADRES, let's work with it. Most people muscular, posting around in town, threatening people, that's not the way to go. It's gone in the past and it's dead and buried. We don't want this CADRES of threatening once a year, other people, citizens, innocent citizens who wake up in the morning to do their work in order to earn a living, in threatening not going to work. I don't know whether there's a meaning of CADRES. CADRES are supposed to be decent people who tell the line of their past in the party point. But we see CADRES as if it's a way of going to train in the gym and supporting people. That should stop. So Mr. Moon, the field assistance, no? Anything lodging from the where should be come off so that people see you as just everybody else. Thank you very much.
Mr. Ngambi, before you go, how much presence do we have of cadres around Kitwe?
Yeah, they don't have not as much as it was in the government.
So there's some improvement.
Yeah, but like I said, yeah, things are improving. But we want it to come for it completely.
Okay.
This is come to zero. There should be zero tolerance against that type of terrorism which is about threatening our people, our citizens, you know.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ngambi. Cadres, actually wouldn't even want to be called a cadre because I associate this name to something else.
No,
please,
I don't know about how you look at it.
No, it's me. Please, respond to Mr. Ngambi, not me.
I want to thank Mr. Ngambi, and his contribution is on point. You know, the information that which is in the public domain about cadreism, it has just been overstretched. It has just also been this confusion, this mess in the public domain about to paint the cadre and the elements of youth behavior black. It's a sponsored trend. I must be categorical by saying that there are people that are happy to make the New Dawn administration unpopular by making sure that the backbone of their popularity is disconnected. And they will do that by all means possible. I want to tell the people on the Copper Belt, we have the names of even people that sell this military fatigue to the youths, like the Delta, that which were campaigning with Bowman Lusambo in his constituency, Kabushi. We have the name of even a soldier who has a shop. He's a warrant officer in Tagagan Barracks, right in Indora, okay? Whereas the government buys and procures these materials from outside the country. But we have failed to give this information to the authorities in the Zambia army because when I go, I'm returned at the gate to fail to see even the deputy air commander. But this information, even the provost at Tagagan Barracks is aware.
Use this platform, Mr. Mwinde, tell them.
We are telling the country in a very mature way because we don't want to be seen to be fighting the appointed authorities. We have stayed in opposition all these years. We are respectable adults and we have been doing businesses in our own small ways. I don't want to be dented that I dealt business with the Zambia army now that we are in government. If there's anything that which I don't want to be found in is my name being found as a supplier anywhere. So when we go and see the army commander or the ZAF commander, it means we have got information that which attaches key importance to their fraternity. It's quite unfortunate that people are emerging as cadres that want to go and use their body or their muscles to intimidate. Some of us, we use these muscles God has given us to do agriculture. We have lived in a similar way and we still want to live in a similar way. Even after these politics, we want to retire, knowing too well that where do we get our food and how do we move on. It's quite unfortunate that maybe I'm viewed as a political or an enemy of the government because, of course, I've discussed this information even with the PS, Minister of Defense, who referred me to say, you can now go ahead, take it to the Deputy Army Commander, take it to the Army Commander. We reach the gate, we give them my business card. We are told there are no, you are not 3 times. It cannot be a mere coincidence, not even being called to say, oh no, we hear you came. But it's a different incident with Zambia National Service we were able to address our concerns with them so that we have not spoken ill about them, because we have been able to be welcomed by their commandant. He has a listening ear. Okay, so we are asking and appealing to many other people that were appointed by His Excellency to make it possible that us as the people that are in the interaction business, day-to-day interactions across the country, be given audience. We will not eat much of their time. We're not giving them instructions. We're just recommending based on what we hear the people are doing. We went with one of your reporters here. I think you had 2 news items here in Kapianga North, where the soldiers were busy beating and grabbing women from people in a forestry in Lusaka West. I think you had a news item.
Wow.
You had a news item here.
Grabbing women.
You had a news item here on Camnet TV.
Yeah.
Yes, we worked with one of the ladies who works here. We carried a script. We had an interview with the community there. We were talking to this soldier. Wallace is in uniform, is drinking castle. Okay.
Enjoying?
Yes, enjoying.
All right, we pick another call. There's someone to hold your thought. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, how are you today?
Fine,
and
thank you.
How are you?
Thank you so very much. This is Reverend Manduli from Oyendo Park.
Our Reverend.
Our Rev.
I'm permanently blessed, and how are you, beloved of God?
We are permanently blessed, thank you. Please go ahead with your contribution. Oh,
just when the Reverend is about to
bless us even more.
And
okay, so
goes, Reverend, be sure to call us back and
so
talk to
you were talking about.
So I was talking about the behavior of certain sectors of the people that are supposed to protect the public. Even the people that were illegally, the politicians in the former regime who were subdividing land to amass themselves and to disadvantage the villagers in Kapianga North. You did realize that they were landing first at that soldiers' camp. So we wanted to address this thing because the headman who gave even the military that land, they don't have a title deed to that land. Okay, the military doesn't have title deed. The headman who gave them that land where they are staying, he has issues that which he says, here is a letter, take for me. But we have a letter, we have the diagrams, we have failed to deliver. Okay, so we will be seen as people even wished that we wish we were just continuing with Edgar Lungu. Okay, because we never used to see, when we complain, we could get a response. But I do believe that by the grace of God and through your media, there will be an intervention because we have spoken and we have spoken enough. We are not speaking to demean the authorities that be and the powers of the people that are in uniform. We are speaking so that we can protect also the people that they are sworn to protect and defend.
We haven't talked to the UPND, Sharon, regarding their victory in the Kawata by-election. Mr. Mwinde, is that a reflection of your efforts, or it is just a fluke?
It's not an individual effort, sir.
It's a minor margin between you and the Patriotic Front. What does it
mean? A pass is a pass. Wherever you may go in the world, they are classified.
In the morning, afternoon, and evening.
Yes, you will be, a pass is a pass. You'll be told, this one has gotten a distinction, this one has gotten a merit. And what makes a difference between those passes, it will be 1 mark. Okay, somebody has gotten a credit, it will be 1 mark difference. Somebody has gotten satisfactory, others are even given unsatisfactory, okay, on paper. So we understand, you know, we are gone are the days that we used to play politics like maybe you are throwing stones or you are kicking stones. We are playing politics of civilized adults. When you lose, go back to the drawing board and relate well with even those that have won. Because I want to advise people that participated. A comrade of ours who stood on the Patriotic Front platform, Clement Tembo, is a well-known factor there. But probably there could be 1 or 2 incidences that which would not allow him win. Amongst them, one, the people were voting on the fact that their MP did not die a natural cause. There was a sympathy vote. And what more would the PF do? After all these years, they had ministers coming from Kawata, promises that which were not working out. We were only assuring the Zambian through the new MP that let them work very hard. The CDF now has been increased, and I don't think that even anybody, even when they had their eyes closed and opened, they ever thought that the CDF would be increased like that. His Excellency, the President of this country, Hakainde Hichilema, he needs to be praised. He has won kudos over the increment in the CDF. Why? You do realize that most of those monies are the monies that which they were hiring players for supporters to go and support the losing national team somewhere. Okay, they charter a plane, a certain minister's a trunk of monies, put in a girlfriend's house. Those are the monies that which were meant for CDF. Now His Excellency has removed the money from individual public servants to make sure that the people of Zambia can share that money equally. They have even increased the salaries for civil servants. They have even paid retirees. They have even paid Tazara workers who have not been paid for a very long time. And I think that we know that many people have lost their lives in the process of waiting for their monies and all. But His Excellency, the President, he has unbundled it and made it easy for many sectors. This empowerment, youth empowerment, it's not something that which is rhetoric. We know we are coming from a very brutal background where even reasoning at times you have to be pampered. You have to be told, yes. We have to be real. Okay, we should communicate on TV, on air, the way we communicate when we are outside. We should not act when we come on television.
No.
Yes. So we can blame a minister, we can blame a councillor, we can blame an MP, or we can blame almost anybody, but we are also forgetting to look at our own behavior as individuals. Okay. So in as much as you want to say we do certain things, every level of behavior or every level of socialization has got its own culture. Yes. You cannot go with the culture of a drunk man to go and meet a minister. You are just coming directly from with your gumboots smelling. I don't know whether you are coming from a crowd with the cattle dung on your feet. You want to go and see a PS. So there is a way you dress, there is a way you speak to these people. Because most of them, they don't even know us. I must confess, yes, they don't even know us. So we must we have to introduce ourselves with humility because they feel also in their offices they are little presidents, but they must understand that they are servants of the people.
All right, Mr. Mwinde, let's weigh in the issue of patience. You've been calling for patience among your members, looking at how many people are suggesting, even on social media, that the UPND is an enemy of itself, because according to the public, people who fought for this political party prior to the election and even in 2016, others have died. Names were being flashed around social media. I can cite a few yesterday. There were quite a number of people that were mentioning people that have died fighting for the party, people that have been injured fighting for the party and are still alive today, but then no reward has been given according to them. What's your comment on this delay to reward these people? Or is fighting for a political party or liberation, as you call it yourselves, supposed to be rewarded at the end of the day?
First of all, I'm very grateful, Madam, that you have brought that subject matter. I think the best reward to those that were killed in cold blood is to bring the perpetrators of those vices to book. People that killed the people in Zambia must be brought to book. And the overzealous taskmasters also who were charging those people, we have people that which we may not mention names, but I have no reason to fear. The overzealous people that were saying, they were even the head of state was on the record that angani mufiaro fimbi ero ngana wina pa uyonka mukaka ero ngani mufiaro fimbi ungali fwele no kufa. The overzealous taskmasters don't pretend to be humble when you have a very bad stony heart, like a pocket of cement. Yes, don't pretend to be nice when you are a bad person. We need prayers in this country. real prayers. You even brought a day of national reconciliation fasting in October. We want to see genuine preachers and pastors who will be able to preside over such an important event. Not where you are bringing CADRES, a cadre who is singing in the field today a secular song to promote your political party, and you bring him on the stage to now start singing gospel songs. Coming to the people that have died in the way to where we are today, we have Comrade Ronald Wadamanenga, Gerard Ngoma, we have Mapes Chiburo, we have Krans Zoro, and we have Kraiza Matapa, we have Lawrence Gaddafi. You know, I'm reading as if I'm reading a paper.
Because these were your people.
Yes, the narrative is so clear.
Yes.
Let the perpetrators of those vices be brought to book.
Just hold your thought. We'll pick it up. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Buena mwaka kwanza.
Buena mwaka.
Mucho mega koti. Di mwanda nzina. Okay. Mr. Chris, go ahead.
Okay. Vangatiuza vamene vapezeka tingabwerepo pamene hapo.
Musendinge ka text message ka namba yanu ku namba yamene mwatumirapo yamene iyo.
Then bazakupasa.
Then tizabapasa wa mwindi. Because sima pasa manamba pa TV. Yeah.
Ziko Mokwambiri. We have also, coming to what he was talking about, we have also people that struggled in Mandevu, and one person who was murdered in cold blood in Mandevu towards the elections. The perpetrators, I think the best way we can reward those that were killed, let the people that killed them be accountable. We have people that were maimed. Even we want to feel that there are people that want to still feel that the UPND has not treated them well. We rent the slogan from the PF that tomorrow, and it is on that basis that we are also trying to keep our best abilities to do what is straight and real in this country. We don't want it to be in the seekers of confusion. Yes, in a vicious cycle of confusion and the repetitions of bad things. We have not come here to educate anybody. Everybody knows that the PF regime really applied the Public Order Act to break the bonds and kill. So they killed many, others that we are able to remember, a few that which are able to recount and mention their names. To those that are still being even held as hostages, we don't even expect them to complain the way they were complaining at Woodlands police station. That's like the devil's advocate, because you have somebody who killed and you even want to bring another lawyer to come and start to defend. No. Even your sentence must be very harsh. Those people that you killed, especially when Gaddafi, we worked very hard to go into Chibodia, to go and recruit them. Venangu mwabagwira apa mwabamanga bali mu bakaribo nyambo yenda chita pia kuma courts. We are aware of many things that which are happening, and it is the reason why it brings me back to something. If we will go into these issues with a similar set of policemen in the rank and file, except the ones that are the cream that were appointed by the president.
The cream.
The cream of the policemen. If these middle class policemen coming downwards, if they are left like that, we will have a lot of problems, because we still have PCIOs, CIOs that are also antagonizing the operations of the new Dawn administration. Imagine you have a case at Matero Police, you negotiate with the CIO at Matero Police, he refuses. You have to go to Central Police so that the commissioner there now calls you, a commanding officer calls that your case is kuno. Okay, so we still have a remnant of people that are not willing to help. And just to talk about this very issue, you realize that these political cadres from the PF, you agree with me, they have been treated with kids' grab, not because they have got strong lawyers, but because we want to show a difference. Our cadres from the UPND, they are still in Kisamba in the cells. They are still in Kisamba, the cadres from the UPND, for just exchanging words with the policeman. They are still in Kisamba inside. Our cadres in Kasama, they are still going to court. Okay? But the PF, they have been given a free style of leadership. And yet, we have a lot of vacant operations in this country. We cannot talk about cadreism. They are trying to divert cadreism. They are trying to put cadreism as a cover. They have brought this is a sponsored thing so that they can downplay the achievements of the new Dawn administration. Okay? We have a lot of issues to discuss about. There's a Lower Zambezi mine that which is supposed to be opened. Okay? There are mines on the copper belt that which have been politicized by many regimes which are run by all these cooperatives like Twampane mine in Karurushi. The court processes, we are happy now that the Chief Justice has said he wants to bring about judicial reforms because we have a lot of court processes that which are sitting on lucrative businesses that which are supposed to contribute to the national coffer.
You haven't answered once again, Mr. Mwinde. Those people that feel entitled because they fought for the party, they're still alive, others are still in police custody. Are you going to reward them with probably employment? Because according to the people...
Or safeguarding their families.
Safeguarding their families. What is the PND doing to ensure
they feel part? I want to say that in every system, there are procedures and processes. It's not an event, it's a process. So in that very process, I do believe that there will be means and ways of how these issues will be handled. If we were to talk about people that suffered for the party, I was driving my own vehicle. In all the campaigns, the party never gave me a vehicle. Where you saw me go anywhere in Zambia, I drove my own vehicles. And even that vehicle right now, the Land Cruiser, is down. Okay? Because we knew that the opposite of what we are today was death. Now kabatu ya pepa nakumbira tumanda yatu. Tikaruza hapa, tiendo hiki wachabe. So the best is we must sacrifice. We sacrificed, we pushed in a brutal. We need to come with the caterpillar. We were the caterpillars. We made sure that we could cross break nights, cross provinces. So the people that you are talking about being rewarded, we don't want only to reward them so that when we give them a token of appreciation, maybe it's money. We want to reward them in a sustainable way. And we also we don't want to target an individual like yourself. We know that we have different needs. We shall strengthen them even after collectively empowering them. So we want to take a collective approach by removing a lot of our communities and societies.
Lastly, I hope you are preparing for the cake, to take over the cake. The president said he's preparing the cake for his cadres and he wants you not to spoil the cake. So I hope you are preparing for that.
Well, going by what we have been doing, we know that in English, in public administration, there is what they say, management by objective. Management by objective, it can lead to a person to think like an institution, to have the ideas of the institution, and to also, whereas the institution is growing. Now the institution has grown, we also anticipate that even us as individuals can also be growing inside the institution, not outside the institution. Okay, we have grown. We are able to express ourselves in terms of policies of the party without any hurdles whatsoever. So that being the case, we will be only done a service if at all that cake is brought even like today, because we know His Excellency has been talking to a lot of stakeholders in order to bring a lot of funding to the sectors that which the youths are yearning to handle. But above that, there is a lot of technical support and a lot of knowledge management which is needed to be imparted. Not only mere workshops of 2 days. in order for the youth to be able to run the mines. But we have the experienced mine owners who have been sidelined. And our appeal is that even like today, we will be going to see the Minister of Mines so that certain other sectors of the mine industry can be unlocked to help the people of the copper belt. We don't want to be seeing people that are flocking to Lusaka 1 week moving. The roads have become very bad and they are very pathetic, and we don't want to lose lives. So we will not spoil our cake. We will behave accordingly to make sure that we are beneficiaries and sit with the kings on the table.
Your plea to the youths under 30 minutes, your people, just tell them.
My appeal to the Zambian youths, and I don't want to subscribe to politics, but I want to say Zambian youths across all board, those people that call themselves that they are youths in this country, let's unite. The president at African Union Summit, he called for unity, because it is only through unity that which we shall build the investor confidence and bring about the intended development. So, and I want to urge all the youths to put politics aside. Let's stop being used. Otherwise, we are tired of fighting one another. We are tired of accusing one another. So I also want to say, I'm not a spokesperson for the Zambia police. I want to say that let them tone down a little bit by being accommodative, because they chose a work that which wears uniform. And many people, they hate them because they are curbing crime. They must be psychologically prepared. Okay, they should not be people that are going to be reactive. When they hear a word, reactive, they act on a word. And our youths are today in prison. If you look at the genesis, it's just exchange of words that which one would have avoided. Yes, we thank you.
Okay, Patrick.
Interesting, there you have it. We've been talking to Mr. Trevor Mwinde, the UPND National Youth Vice Chairperson, and a number of issues have been brought out during our discussion. We want to thank you, those of you who managed to call in on the program, to also give us your perspective on the program. Also, before Mr. Mwinde, we had another youth organization where we discussed the youth empowerment and the Camnet health as well. As usual, be sure to catch these segments tomorrow. Sharon.
Indeed, thank you so much for choosing Camnet TV. My name is Sharon Kalimla. Join us again tomorrow as we bring yet other interviews and the interesting segments that we have on the show. Good morning.